Hi everyone, you are watching 67 Hail Hail on YouTube. You know that by now. We've got a live video for you. You probably know that as well because it's been a busy day in terms of Celtic. Season tickets have been launched today and we're going to have a chat about that over the next how many minutes we need. And I think we might need quite a few minutes because there's quite a lot of information has come out of the club. Guys, we've got Ewan and David joining me, Hamish. We will hear your wonderful voices in a wee second, but first off, I'm just going to go through some of the stuff that's come out from the club today, and this may take a little bit of time. So basically, in terms of official communication from the club, around about, I think 20 minutes ago, Celtic tweeted saying we had hoped to have announced the manager before providing this update. However, we must now begin the renewal process to allow us to prepare for a phased and safe return to Celtic Park for our supporters. Alongside this tweet, they had a link to an article on the official website with details about the new season ticket proposal. I'm not going to read everything out in that statement because it's quite lengthy. Just some of the key points that I've kind of highlighted. Celtic say they're truly sorry fans have not been able to be at Celtic Park, and truly sorry the club have not been able to deliver the further success which your support has deserved. Interesting use of the word further. We may talk about that later on. We had hoped to have announced the manager before providing this update, and we do intend to finalise the appointment of the next Celtic manager shortly. However, we have been encouraged by the recent announcements of crowds at sporting events across Scotland this summer. We are encouraged by the recent announcement of crowds at sporting events at the likes of Hampden, Murrayfield and Glasgow Green. Celtic has been at the forefront of an effort to get supporters back, and with this and now as we return to normality, we are preparing to welcome you home to Celtic Park. The deadline to renew is 5 p.m. on Friday, June the 25th, which is just over 4 weeks away. In terms of the actual key details outlined by Celtic, some interesting things here, guys, that we will get on to talk about. These are the key kind of takeaways. Celtic say that season ticket prices will be frozen from last year. There's a £50 retail voucher for every ticket. The gift voucher can be used online or in-store to purchase any items, including Adidas products, kit and official signed memorabilia. This retail voucher, we understand, will cost the club around £2.5 million. Other benefits such as discounts in soccer, training schools, club tours, etc, etc. There will be a first team training day at Celtic Park for season ticket holders, and the Path to Paradise will continue, including pre-season matches. Right, we might get that screen back up later on. I can relax now and throw it over to Ewan and David. David, I guess the biggest thing here is that Celtic are putting forward a plan for season tickets with no manager in place. That's the main headline for me.
Yeah, well, no manager in place, but, we can pretend that we don't know who the manager is if you want, but I think it's quite obvious who it's probably going to be. It's going to be Eddie Howe, I think. Just about every Celtic fan knows that to be the case by now, so that doesn't necessarily bother me, that there isn't an official announcement on the manager. It clearly looks as if there's going to be in the next day or two, so I'm not going to let that annoy me for no reason. For me, I'd have liked to have seen a decrease in the season ticket prices. I know they've frozen them. But I think just in terms of what the Celtic fans went through last year, it was hell on earth with regards to not just the performances, but the way their concerns were treated by the board and the club as a whole. I thought it was shocking. And I thought the best sign, or the most effective sign Celtic could have done, what could have brought fans on side a bit more would have been a decrease in the price. I just think that would have been the most straightforward way to go. Hopefully, it's maybe a sign that they're going to spend in the summer. I don't think we'll really know how valuable these season tickets are until the closure of the transfer window. We know what team we're actually operating with. So I think there's still plenty of questions to be answered with regards to that. So I think fans wanted something a bit stronger from the club, but we might get it in the form of the transfer window.
Yeah, let's tackle some of the stuff then that they've said. You and the £50 retail voucher, just to clarify or to go over it again. We do understand via the club that this gift voucher can be used online or in-store to purchase any items, including Adidas products, kit and official signed memorabilia. We also understand, as I said, that this is going to cost the club around about 2.5 million. I know fans would say, yeah, but you're charging supporters the same amount. You could easily have made it up by just taking £50 off the season tickets or whatever. So I understand that point of view. But this is quite a big outlay from the club to give fans a £50 voucher, or are fans entitled to more than that?
I'd say the fans are entitled to a lot more than that, to be quite frank. Yeah, it's not shares, is it? It's not any sort of, I don't know, kind of impact on the club in terms of, you know, a share or a say or anything like that. And it's probably a pretense to put out another third shirt, so they'll recoup the money anyway. But I'm kind of tired of being cynical. I've been cynical about the club for most of the season now, and I can see these sort of things as kind of advantages. I think there'll be people who have been wavering on whether or not to renew, who might be buoyed by these kind of things. And yeah, truthfully, I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? Because it's a heart versus head thing at the end of the day. But in terms of yeah, they could have just taken £50 off the season ticket as a sort of goodwill gesture. That would have made more sense to me. But you know, I guess it's to kind of encourage people to get into the shop and impulse buy and that kind of thing. If you're being cynical about it, which I am. So
yeah, I mean it's a tough situation for the club, and I do think we need to remember that as well, that the pandemic has put the club in a position that they didn't want to be in, and it's not the club's fault that supporters couldn't get into the ground all of this season, and potentially a good bit of next season. The way things are going, we're certainly not going to have full houses at Celtic Park for a while. That isn't the club's fault. I think supporters just feel would maybe like a bit more compassion, a bit more awareness from the club and what they're doing. I think this was a bit of a step forward from where we've been, but once again the same issues we've seen in communication from the club this season were apparent again. Supporters found out through the Red Tops, the Daily Record I think had the exclusive, as opposed to the actual statement. We'd been expecting the statement at 12 o'clock, we didn't get it till about 1:15. And in the meantime, the Daily Record had the exclusive out on it. I think that's something that supporters would like. Supporters would like to get their news directly from Celtic as opposed to reading it in the Daily Record or the Scottish Sun. So I think that's something that they need to work on. And as I kind of hinted at earlier, there's just a couple of wee phrases in the statement. The one about the word further in front of further in front of success or something like that. Didn't really see the need for that. And also there's a rather bizarre kind of birthday card, so-and-so point in it, paragraph. Across our history, our success has been earned and our reputation built on the shared belief that together we are greater than the sum of our parts. We are proud to be one club since 1888. I just felt that was a bit out of place, but anyway, that's probably me nitpicking or whatever. David, how many people do you think are going to snap up these season tickets? Are supporters going to go for this? Are supporters going to wait until a manager is announced before they commit?
Well, they might do, but again, I don't think it's going to take any longer than a couple of days for the new manager to come in, so I don't think there'll be a great loss there. As soon as that announcement is made, and I'm going to, for talking's sake, say it'll be Eddie Howe. As soon as Eddie Howe comes into the job, watch how things turn around in terms of the atmosphere, Hamish. As soon as fans see that man with a scarf over his head talking about rebuilding the club, it's incredible what it can do for atmosphere, and I think you'll find that'll happen.
Do you not think they should have held off then, David, until it was announced? I get the point that they have to, put the wheels into motion with getting fans back to games, but is that really going to change in the next week? We're certainly still expecting Eddie Howe to be appointed this week. Could they not have held on to it until Monday?
Could have done, but I just don't see the harm in it. I don't see why there should be such widespread anger over it. As we say, it's no secret who it's going to be anyway. I feel we're complaining about nothing, to be honest. I just think that if you're talking about the new manager, if that's your point of concern, that the new manager isn't in place, I don't think it's an issue. So you could say that. Maybe it would have been better for image, I don't know. But Celtic, for whatever reason, felt they had to do this today. just doesn't bother me at all. As I say, I would have liked to have seen a decrease in prices. I think that's exactly what fans deserved after last season. Didn't expect anything with regards to share promises or anything like that anyway. But a decrease in price is what they should have went for. But other than that, Hamish, I can't get angry over it. I think it's fashionable just now to bash Celtic because we don't have a manager. And my goodness, we've done it all season. Me, yourself, you, and we've bashed them when relevant. And today, I just don't feel as if there's scope to have a massive go. But that's just me. Everyone will have their own opinions on it. I certainly don't have any fears about the new manager at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's people in the comments reading into the new manager stuff. It's funny the way things can be perceived differently by people, because I've had a number of people in the comments saying that this means that Howe appointment is imminent. And we've also had on the opposite side a number of people saying that this means that the Howe appointment is miles away and the club are just looking to get season tickets out now because they can't, hold on to them until Eddie Howe's appointed because it's a good bit away. Interesting stuff. One wee thing I forgot to mention, Celtic say the season ticket will include 21 matches, either in person or virtually via the Pass to Paradise, including all home league games. And also for the coming season, our home friendly match against Preston on July the 17th and our Champions League second qualifying round home match. So that as well. Don't know if that was the case this season, thinking back to Ferencváros. I think that might have been on Pass to Paradise, but I could be wrong there. I do feel as if it's kind of, it's going to be up to personal choice again, Ewan, isn't it? It's going to be up to every single person and whether they feel they want to go back to Celtic Park and whether they feel they should go back to Celtic Park. We've obviously had a year away from not being at Celtic Park. In that year, a lot of pretty bad stuff has happened. The communication from the club has been non-existent in that time. Do you think that people will lap this up kind of regardless of price, regardless of £50, regardless of virtual programmes, and people just want to be back at Celtic Park?
I don't know if lap this up is the phrase I'd use, but I don't think you'll get a massive impact in terms of renewals because, let's face it, it's been a year and a half just about since we've been actually able to go to games, and it's a team versus PLC thing really at the end of the day, isn't it? I mean, it's your perspective. If you believe that you're putting money into the PLC and you don't want to do that, and you don't want to renew, that's a perfectly valuable stance to take, and it's completely understandable. But equally, for me, it's about the team. It's about supporting the team, and there's always going to be folk on the board that, I'm quite a disagreeable person, but ultimately it's going to be people are going to be following their heart and get back to it. And I think that's what makes it so annoying for folk as well, is because the club know exactly what buttons to push. There was a weird part of the statement I'm just going to bring up now. I found this really, really confusing. Our club was born in adversity, raised in defiance, and defined by no other. With our own standards, our own values, we always have been and always will be a club open to all. Now we have a real chance to start afresh, to work together, and once again create a club built for the future, a club built to last. I don't know how many people are going to respond to that, but I thought that was like a perfect example of them like throwing in sort of kind of seemingly kind of random platitudes to themselves, which is fine. I mean, God knows I do that in my own writing.
That's the stuff I've got just a wee bit of an issue with, to be honest. It's just comments like that I don't really think the support are warming to that at the moment. That's the kind of thing you chuck in when you're having a good season and maybe something's gone against you SFA wise or something, to get the troops on side. But I just think the supporters are in general, we're just kind of pretty fed up, and we don't want to hear about recent success and unprecedented times and COVID. We don't want to hear excuses, and to be fair, there's no excuses as such in that Celtic statement, which is at least an upgrade in the tripe we were served out earlier in the season. But there's still just some comments, and you just think, just leave out the stuff about having won further trophies. Just leave that out. The fans know we've won trophies in the past. Just leave it out and let supporters come to their own conclusion. Don't butter us up because we're more intelligent than that.
Definitely.
I can totally understand that. I think when you look at the statement, there will be certain things that pop out, and you sort of think to yourself, you're trying to insult my intelligence a wee bit, but it might be an element of the support that like that kind of stuff. Who knows? I can only speak for myself, but it's just so bizarre to me that there's just an urge just now to criticise the club for everything, for every sentence, for every paragraph they put in a statement. They can't do anything right.
We'd be out of a job though, David. Like...
yeah, true. I do think that just a wee bit more patience, and I think if we're sitting here in 3 days' time, everything's changed. Everything's changed from the atmosphere, Hamish. All it needs is the Eddie Howe announcement and the Eddie Howe press conference, and you watch. Nobody is talking about how bad the season ticket renewal statement is or anything like that. That's just the way football works. It's it's like Ewan said to me before. It's just so reactionary, and I think what we're discussing today just won't be the main topic in a couple of days, and I believe there's going to be some good times ahead under the new manager, and hopefully the fact that there maybe isn't, or there maybe aren't as many benefits in next year's season tickets we would like, is hopefully going to be a sign that they're spending the summer. We forget maybe to an extent how big this summer rebuild's going to be. As much as maybe demand constant benefits or constant decline season ticket prices because of what happened last season, we're forgetting that we also want the club to spend about 20-25 million this transfer window to sign 10 to 13 players. We can't just forget that. Where's that money coming from? It's not going to come from Edouard's sale, for example. We have a sell-on fee with PSG. They have to make their money from somewhere, and that's the main reason why I personally can't get too angry until I see what the full picture shows at the end of the transfer window.
I take that point on board, and I do think that when Eddie Howe does come in eventually, that it will be like a switch has been flicked and things will change and things will seem really good all of a sudden. I think, providing it's Eddie Howe coming in with maybe a director of football and all that kind of stuff. But at this moment, as we are speaking, I do find it frustrating. I can't lie that we're sitting here once again chatting about Celtic looking for more money when they've not given us anything to go off of. And I understand that Howe may be imminent, and the club even refer to the fact that they hope to get a new manager in as soon as possible. But this has been going on for months now, and I found it inconceivable that Celtic would come to support with their hands out again, asking for more money without offering without having a manager confirmed at that stage. I honestly found it inconceivable. I know that there's the mitigating factors about COVID and wanting to get fans back in as soon as possible, but that's the one thing I can't get my head around. I did not think it would be possible for Celtic to do that. And David, you might be right, loads of people might renew the minute Eddie Howe's announced. I think that will be the case, because you'll get the bug. Nobody wants to be angry at Celtic. We don't want to feel disdain towards Celtic. We want to be buzzing about Celtic. We're Celtic fans at the end of the day, not Celtic criticisers. But that's just how I feel at the moment. Thoughts on an open training day at Celtic Park, Ewan? You into that kind of thing?
I mean, I've never been to one. I know that some people seem to have insight on what happens at training. But I mean, yeah, if it's there and I have a season ticket, then I'll probably go if I can get the day off. But I don't really. I mean, it's probably just more like an excuse for a meet and greet, really, isn't it? And kind of, after the disconnect between the club and the supporters, like you've got players there signing shirts and taking photos and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's nice. It's not. I don't really. I mean, if it's COVID safe and all that stuff, I can't really think of a logical objection to it.
I'm sure I went to one when I was about 10 or 11 years old. I'm sure I went with my dad. I went with my dad and I absolutely loved it. But I think it was more a day for the kids, really, more than anything. Chance for them to sort of see the boys train, and I'm sure there was some meet and greet sessions as well. I think 5 or 6, kids got to take penalties into Arthur Borich, things like that. It was just a total fun day.
Did he score?
Well, he didn't spring to the left and save all 5, did he? Let them go in, if I remember correctly. But
unprofessional.
But I thought it was quite good, but it was more, I think, more a day for the kids. I think when you get to your adult ages, I think you're more interested in the serious stuff. But it's a fun day out if you've got the season tickets with your your kids, I suppose.
One final thing I just wanted to mention on the video, I don't know actually if I should be doing this, but Celtic did contact us earlier in the day, along with a number of other Celtic fan media groups to give us a heads up ahead of this story going live. I thought that was a positive step for the club to be involving ourselves and other Celtic fan media, as I say, in this conversation. They were effectively getting in contact to give us a heads up so that we were aware of what would be reported. I'm assuming they do that kind of thing with the so-called mainstream media as well. So I thought that was really positive. They had said 12 o'clock. I think, as I say, it was about 85 minutes after that it eventually went live. So I think it would be great going forward if we could get that nailed on so that we know when stuff is going live and it's accurate. But as I say, it's a positive step from where we were. Hopefully with stuff like embargoes as well, Celtic fan media can pay attention to what's going on as well, because I think if the club are treating us with the respect of telling us what's going on, Celtic fan media has to live up to that as well. I know that there was a couple of outlets that went a wee bit early, but anyway, that's their prerogative. Guys, final say on this whole situation. David, you're just kind of nonplussed by the whole situation. You're happy with what's going on in general, or maybe happy is not the right word, but you're content about what's going to happen in the coming days and weeks.
I think I know what's coming, Hamish, and that's what soothes any anger over it. I'm not going to pretend to be angry for the sake of it. This, with regards to the season ticket thing, as I said, maybe could have decreased the prices. That would be my only real gripe with it. But if it means that we're going to, spend in the summer and really, really tackle this rebuilding job, then fair dues.
A few people saying just in the comments about Celtic effectively phoning us to butter us up, and I don't think certainly from our point of view that's the case at all. As we've said in the past on the channel, as much as Celtic are giving us the opportunity, we wouldn't take that opportunity if Celtic didn't allow us to report certain things, and if Celtic's only said we could talk about things in a positive light. That won't change. We'll continue to be critical on the channel and hold Celtic to account, as we have done in this video. So I just want to put that straight for some of the people in the comments. Ewan, final say to you, mate.
I think, speaking objectively, I think this is just they've announced the timing of this is just to prop up the share price before a new manager comes in, and then shareholders can really make their dividends as per. But and I think that's fine. That's got its place. But in terms of the season ticket announcement, I guess the more sort of radical element of support, and I would probably include myself in that, we wanted some kind of share price value to come out of this season. And there's some apologetic language in a statement and in the Twitter announcement, but ultimately it's still football. Actually playing games of football will bring supporters back inside. They can't do that at the moment, so they're trying the next best thing, and that's I completely get it. But this alone isn't going to placate the supporters, and it's going to be really interesting in a few weeks to see if they change their approach, because it's not been working. It's alienated so many people this season.
Right, big thanks there to Feed the Bear. Hopefully that's not a Rangers reference. For getting in touch there with the £10.
It's a Roy Aitken reference, isn't it?
See, that's a bit before my time, Ewan. I'm showing my age there, big time. What's that in reference to? Apart from Roy Aitken.
I wasn't expecting a follow-up question, Hamish, I'll be honest. I'm only 29.
That's fine, mate. Feed the Bear, thanks for getting in touch. Thanks everyone for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel, give this video a like as well. It helps more people see the video. Ewan, David will be giving their thoughts over on 67heelheal.com, so check that out as well. In terms of the YouTube channel, we will be back, I think, tomorrow with a video possibly looking at Celtic's plans for pre-season, where we're going, who will be playing, etc. Bit of in-depth knowledge there for you. Take care everyone, and hail hail.